So, Mr. President, thank you for giving us this opportunity for this interview. First of all, I'd like to ask about the bilateral relations between the two countries, between Cyprus and Estonia. You've already met the President, other officials. You're here with some business people from your country. How do you see these relations developing? And are there any agreements in the pipeline for the two countries to be signed?
We are quite similar countries. I mean, we are both maritime countries, and yesterday I met a number of officials, as you said, including President, and we discussed about the future relations. Of course, the trade is not, it's very modest at the moment, but we're trying to improve it, and to come with a business delegation, it is important that the business people meet each other, and delegation is very small, I mean business delegation, but it's important that the people who are already doing some kind of business here, and even one of our companies, Admirals Group, has a headquarters here in Cyprus. So there are elements already, and of course tourism. And there is a direct flight from Tallinn to Fafos, so it's a very good start to continue our relations.
In which other sectors, maybe health or maritime sector?
There are a number of sectors, maritime of course, and also digitalization of the government, or e-governance, what we are famous for. And there is already signed MOU a year ago or so between our countries, and as far as I know, this summer you are going to use also e-prescription, which is very handy for tourists, and you can travel easily, and if you have something to do to get from the apotheker, you will easily get it.
So your country is going to help to offer the know-how to Cyprus with these e-prescription
Yes, it's already there. So it's already there. So, and we are trying to share our experience, because we started digitalization already a long time ago, and we had young leaders and visionaries to begin with. So we're trying to share this experience, and of course you can't copy, but we can share experience and work together to further develop our relations.
Okay. Now, if we could talk about political issues, and more specifically about the war in Ukraine. You are a neighboring country. What is your opinion about the situation there? And if I may ask another question, here in Cyprus, you know that there is Turkish occupation for 50 years now. Do you think that the sanctions imposed on Russia for its war against Ukraine could be implemented against Turkey as well for the situation in Cyprus? And Turkey is aspiring to become an EU member. That's another issue. So do you think that these sanctions should also be implemented against Turkey?
So it's up to probably to Cyprus and to discuss the matter, but the sanctions, it's always a very difficult issue, because it's easy to circumvent with sanctions, and that's a problem also now, because Russia is trying to find other markets to sell oil, let's say, to India, to other countries, to China, and so forth. So I have to make sure that these sanctions are going to work. They never work 100%. They might even don't work 60%. But we have to make sure, because there is no alternative for sanctions. What's going to happen here, it's difficult to say, because it's a very sad story, but the two communities are separated here. So, and I do hope that this UN envoy here is helping to solve this situation and to find bi-communal solution for Cyprus. But as far as Ukraine is concerned, I have been to Ukraine a number of times also after the war started, and also 2 days before the war escalated. So I've seen quite closely what's happening in Ukraine, and unfortunately this aggression is continuing, and what Ukraine needs is, of course, humanitarian aid and ammunition and so forth. So we all have to do everything to end this aggression, this war in Ukraine, because there are similar elements also what's happening in Gaza, although this was Hamas who started this conflict in Gaza Strip.
Mm-hmm. But you can see similarities between the situation in Ukraine and Cyprus, I mean, with the occupation and the offensive of Russia on one hand and Turkey on the other hand, right?
You can always find similarities in different conflicts and wars. How much does it help to solve a solution is another question. But the same here in Cyprus, we should find a solution to somehow unite these communities here. And I've been also close to this green zone, and I'm pleased to see that the European Union is also giving some resources to set up a startup hub in Nicosia, and it's also for both sides, not only for Greek Cypriots. So it's a very good start to unite these communities.
How did you feel yesterday when you visited the Green Line in this last divided capital of Europe?
You get very mixed feelings. I have been there in the past as well. I visited Cyprus 10, 12 years ago when I was a rector of university, so I have been also on the other side of this green zone. But it's always very sad to see that there are borders, and it's not the only border left in the world, so it's a sad story.
Mm-hmm. Another, let's say, problem which Cyprus faces is that of migration. We've seen that there are many flows of immigrants arriving here, either via the sea or through the Green Line. What is your country's opinion on this, in the EU context, of course?
I mean, we are also participating here with Frontex to try to solve this problem, and we don't have migrants. Well, we have seen migration also in next to our borders from North Africa and some other countries, and Russia is using this migration as a weapon. But it's, as I understand, as I remember, it's 7% of Cyprus population is already migrants from different countries. We don't have a migration like this in Estonia, but we got refugees from Ukraine, and there are 4% of our populations are refugees from Ukraine. So it's a different story, but still you have to solve this problem, to find shelter, to find schools for education, and so forth. So we understand the situation, and Cyprus is in the forefront of this migration.
Okay, if I may come back to the Cyprus question, I can understand that you're planning to meet with the President of Turkey, Mr. Erdogan, later this year.
It's in our schedule, yes.
Yeah. Are you planning to raise the issue of Cyprus to him?
I guess we'll just discuss the matter, so it's, you can't avoid it. So, because I have been here, and of course, this matter, the question comes up.
What will be your message to him?
I guess the message is the same I just said, answer to your question.
So you're going to reiterate your position on what you said yesterday about the settlement of a bizonal, bicommunal federation in Cyprus?
Yes, this is our position as a country. So I can't see our solution at this very moment.